Hi everyone. Today's presentation we are going to see about the continuation part of the introduction to optical fibers. Today we are going to see the outlines of basic optical laws, numerical aperture, optical fiber modes and configuration, index profile of the fiber, optical fiber configurations. Basic optical laws. Here the optical fiber waveguides is in the free space light that travels at its maximum possible speed, that is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second or 186 into 10 power 3 miles per second. So the speed of the light depends upon the medium through which the light passes, and it is related to frequency and the wavelength, that is C is equal to V lambda. So it also exhibits in the laws of reflection, refraction, etc. Okay. Now we are going to see what is reflection. So the reflection of light from a mirror follows the simple physical law which is called as law of reflection. Okay. The law of reflection will light ray is incident upon the reflective surface at some incident angle phi 1 from the imaginary perpendicular normal. The ray will be reflected from surface at some angle phi 2 from the normal, which is called equal to the angle of incidence. So the angle of incidence means the light ray determines whether the ray will be reflected or refracted, and the angle of reflection phi 2 will be denoted as the angle at which the light is reflected from the surface is called as angle of reflection. So the total law of reflection is defined as angle of incidence phi 1 is equal to angle of reflection phi 2. Okay. Now we are going to see what is refraction. When the waves passes from less dense medium to more dense medium, the wave is refracted towards the normal. So that is, the refraction is bending of the light ray that occurs when the light ray passes from one medium to another medium. It will changes its direction at the interfaces, and also it will occur whenever the density of the medium changes. Next we are going to see what is refractive index. So the amount of the refraction is called as the index of refraction or refractive index. It is defined as the ratio of the speed of the light in air to the speed of the light in another medium is known as refractive index, such as water, glass or plastics. So the index of refraction is denoted as N and is equal to speed of the light in air by speed of the light in medium. So C by V. Here N is the refractive index, C is the speed of the light in free space, and V is the speed of the light in the given material. So next we are going to see what is total internal reflection. Total internal reflection in this condition, when the light ray strikes the interface at an angle greater than the critical angle, the light ray does not pass through an interface into the glass. A mirror effect is existed at the interface, that is, reflection occurs instead of refraction. Okay. When this occurs, the angle of reflection phi 2 is equal to the angle of incidence phi 1, as if the real mirror were used. So this action is known as the total internal reflection. Here in this total internal reflection, there are two conditions are used. One is the refractive index of the core must be greater than cladding, that is N1 is greater than N2. The second one is angle of incidence must be greater or equal to the critical angle. Okay, so this will be occurs only in the materials in which the velocity of the light is slower than in air. Next we are going to see what is critical angle. So critical angle means the angle of incidence that causes the refracted light to travel along the interface between the two different media is known as critical angle. So consider that n1 is greater than n2 and the angle of refraction as phi 2 is always greater than angle of incidence phi 1. So that is phi 2 is greater than phi 1. So here the critical angle will occur when the angle of refraction phi 2 is 90 degree and the angle of incidence phi 1 at the interface between the dielectrics must be less than 90 degree. Okay, so that is sin phi c is equal to n2 by n1, that is phi c is equal to sine inverse of n2 by n1. Okay, next we are going to see what is Snell's law. Snell's law states that how the light ray will react when it meets the interface of two media having the different index of refraction. Okay, so let two media have the refractive index as n1 and n2, where n1 is greater than n2 and phi 1 and phi 2 be the angle of incidence and angle of refractions respectively. So the Snell's law will states that n1 sin phi 1 is equal to n2 sin phi 2. So that is n1 by n2 is equal to sin phi 2 by sin phi 1. Next we are going to see what is acceptance angle. So the acceptance angle is the maximum angle to the fiber axis at which the light may enter the fiber axis in order to be propagated. So it will be it is the defined based on purely on the geometrical considerations. So that is the maximum angle ray will be hit the fiber core and it will allow the incident light to guide the core. So hence theta A is the maximum angle to the axis and it will enter the light through the fiber in order to propagate and is often referred to as the acceptance angle of the fiber. Here acceptance angle is expressed as theta A max is equal to sine inverse root of n1 square minus n2 square by n0. So that is n0 is here n0 is refractive index of the air, that is n0 equal to 1. So theta A max is equal to sine inverse root of n1 square minus n2 square. So that is ohm is equal to 5 n1 square minus n2 square, that is equal to pi into na square. So next we are going to see what is the numerical aperture. So numerical aperture is defined as it is used to describe the light's gathering or light collecting ability of an optical fiber. Okay, it is also referred as a figure of merit, which is represents its light gathering capability. So the numerical aperture for the light when entering the glass fiber from the air medium is described mathematically as Na sin theta A. Okay, so first we are going to consider that consider the refraction of the core air interface using the Snell's law, that is given by n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 sin theta 2. So next we consider the right angle triangle ABC that is indicated in the above figure. So that is phi is equal to pi by 2 minus theta 2. Here theta here pi is greater than the critical angle at the core cladding interface. So the equation 1 will becomes n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 cos phi. How it will comes cos phi means here we have mentioned some small derivation, that is take the equation 2 phi is equal to pi by 2 minus theta 2. Okay, so keep the theta 2 in one side and bring all the other parts into another side. So minus theta 2 is equal to phi minus pi by 2. So theta 2 is equal to plus pi by 2 minus phi. Okay, so now apply this in the equations, that is our first equation. So n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 sin, for theta 2 we have to substitute this pi by 2 minus phi. Okay, so sin 90 minus theta will be denoted as cos theta. So that's why we have written as n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 cos phi. Okay, third equation. So using the trigonometrical relationship, we can write it as sin squared phi plus cos squared phi is equal to 1. So the equation 3 will becomes n0 sin theta 1 is equal to n1 into what, 1 minus sin squared phi the whole power 1 by 2. Okay, so in this limiting cases theta 1 will becomes an acceptance angle for the fiber theta a. So combining the limiting cases into the equation 4, we will get n0 sin theta a is equal to n1 square minus n2 square the whole power 1 by 2. How it becomes? It will be shown in the small explanation part. That is, take the 1 minus sin squared phi the whole power 1 by 2 in the equation 4. So it will comes 1 minus we already know that sin squared phi is n2 squared by n1 squared. So substituting this, so the whole power 1 by 2. So taking the LCM, we have to write n1 square minus n2 squared by n1 square the whole power 1 by 2. So substituting in this equations, we will receive that here already there is n1. So in this n1 squared, this n1 all and that n1 will be cancelled. So we will receive only n1 square minus n2 square the whole power 1 by 2. So substituting this in fifth equation. So n0 sin theta a is equal to n1 square minus n2 square the whole power 1 by 2. So hence numerical aperture is defined as NA is equal to n0 sin theta a equal to n1 square minus n2 square the whole power 1 by 2. Okay. So it may be noted that the incident meridional rays over the ranges will be 0 less than or equal to theta 1 less than or equal to theta a and will be propagated within the fibers. So the numerical aperture may be given in the terms of del is equal to n1 square minus n2 square by 2 n1 square. So it will be written as n1 minus n2 by n1 for del is less than 1. So now squaring on both sides, we will get NA squared is equal to n1 square minus n2 squared. So the equation 7 and 9 are combined together. We will receive NA squared is equal to 2 n1 squared del. So NA is equal to root of 2 n1 squared del. So NA is equal to n1 root 2 del. So this is the numerical aperture equation. So next we are going to see the optical fiber modes and configurations. Here an optical fiber is a dielectric waveguide that will operate at the optical frequencies. So this fiber waveguide is normally a cylindrical form. Okay, so it will confines electromagnetic energy in the form of light to within its surface and guides the light in the direction which is parallel to the axis. So the light can be propagated down an optical fiber cable using either reflection or refraction. So the light propagates depends on the mode of the propagation and the index profile of the fiber. So the propagation of the light along the waveguide can be described in terms of the set of guided electromagnetic waves called modes of the waveguide. So the cylinder is known as core of the fiber, and the basic construction is of a fiber optic cable contains core, cladding and buffer coating. So core means the fiber which is single solid dielectric cylinder of the radius A and index of refraction is N1. So next is cladding. The cladding means the core is usually surrounded by solid dielectric cladding, and it has a refractive index N2 which is less than N1. That is, N1 is greater than N2. Okay. So the advantages of the cladding is it reduces the scattering loss which will occur due to the dielectric discontinuities, and the another one is it will add the mechanical strength to the fiber, and it also protect the core from absorbing the surface contaminants with which it would come in the contact. Okay. So next we are going to see index profile of the fiber. The index profile of an optical fiber is a graphical representation of the magnitude of the refractive index across the fiber. So the index profile of the fiber is of two types. One is step index fiber and another one is graded index fiber. So first, step index fiber. It is defined as step in the index of the refraction where the fiber core and cladding interfaces. So the refractive index of the core is uniform throughout, and it will undergo an abrupt change at the cladding boundary. This is called as the step index of fiber. So for example, here the refractive index N1 of the core is uniform and the refractive index N2 of the cladding is slightly lower than N1. So next is graded index fiber. The core refractive index is made to vary as a function of radial distance from the center of the fiber. So this type of graded index fiber is refractive index that will decrease the radial distance increases. So the index of refractions will be vary smoothly and continuously over the diameter of the core. Okay. So next we are going to see the optical fiber configurations. So optical fiber configurations, depending on the refractive index profile of the fiber and modes of the fiber, there exists three types of optical fiber configurations. They are single mode step index fiber, multi-mode step index fiber and multi-mode graded index fiber. So first, single mode step index fiber. It is also known as single mode or mono mode step index fiber. Okay. In single mode step index fibers are dominant fibers, and it will used in today's telecommunication and data networking industries. So it has a central core that is significantly smaller in diameter than any of the multimode cables, with a typical core size of 8 to 12 micrometer. So the diameter is sufficiently small, only one part of the light ray will make it as a propagate down the cable. So it is also known as the fundamental or monomode fiber. So the main advantages is it has low intermodal dispersion, and also for very long distance transmission and maximum information content, this cable should be used. Multi-mode step index fiber. So multi-mode step index are similar to the single mode step index, except the diameter of the center core, which is much larger than the multi-mode configuration. It is also easy to manufacture, and its core diameter is from 50 to 200 micrometer, and the cladding is from 125 to 400 micrometer. Okay, the light rays are propagated down the core in the zigzag manner. So many paths that a light ray may follow during the propagations. So it will allow the propagation of finite number of guided modes along the channels. Next is multimode graded index fiber. So the graded index fibers are characterized by a central core with a non-uniform refractive index. These cables will have the several modes or paths of transmission through the cable, but they are much more orderly and predictable. So the index of the refractions are vary continuously across the core, and the light rays are bent smoothly and converge repeatedly at the points along the cable. So the light ray enters the fiber at many different angles. So all the modes or light paths tend to arrive at one point simultaneously. So the result is there is a less modal dispersion. So these fibers are easier to couple the light into and out of the fiber. Then the single index fibers are more difficult than the multimode step index fibers. Okay, that's all today's session. Thank you.